Hello all. So I apologize ahead of time for anyone that recognizes that I am still in my PJs. I've just had a very busy morning doing readings and I have not gotten out of my PJs. So we're gonna live with it because I need to get this done before I run out of time. If you guys remember, I did those Advent calendar readings, and day 16 was a very intricate reading. I opted to make it a full reading, so I did it. I did a full reading and I have a full message, and it is heavy, and I'm going to try to explain it to everybody. It will be a little bit of a challenge for me to get it all out, but I think I can do it. I think I can do it with guidance. I'm hoping. I slept on it a little bit, so I'm hoping I can get it done correctly. So let me try and find day 16, which if you haven't seen those, you totally should check them out because they are, even though they were Advent calendar readings, they are timeless. And as a matter of fact, I had someone claim one the other day. It was already January 2024. And they claimed it. It was totally their reading, like without a doubt. I pulled it December 6th, no, December, I forgot what day, but I pulled it in December for the Advent calendar read. So you should totally check those out if you haven't. So this spirit literally followed me for 3 days before the reading. They actually came in the form of an animal, not a person. So it may have been a spirit guide. They said, growth is incapable of standing in a shadow. But there's a reason for saying this. This is symbolic, obviously. Be the star you are. Magic potions, tools at the table, sedating wine. A fool's journey is bound to extend beyond sunlight's reach. In those crevices of darkness we find where life begins and shoulders bend and tears fall. But without sun, those corners are still part of the structure and would fall without it. So basically, this is all structure, right? Talking about you. But this is all a structure. And the candlelight, which let's say is the light that they're referring to, is highlighting this area. And the little crevices have shadows too. Look, there's a huge shadow right here. The point is, with or without that light shining on it, it's all one piece. The light shining on it it's a nuance. It is where you need to work, whether it may be work to further something or work to end something, whatever it may be. It's still where you need to put your attention, whether it's the light or the shadow. Both are just as important, and both are all part of the whole. A fool's journey is bound to extend beyond sunlight's reach, which means everybody has shadows. Everybody has shadow work. If you haven't heard the term shadow work, so shadow work is basically anything you need to work on that might be hindering you, or it might be it's something that you need to get past to push forward on your journey in life to becoming your higher self. In those crevices of darkness, we find where life begins and shoulders bend and tears fall. Wow, this is, now that I know the second reading, this is really, really poetic. A good example that they gave me. So, but without the sun, these corners are still part of the structure and would fall without it. I see someone walking on the sand, jumping from shadow to shadow, because the sun's heat made the rest unbearable. Extremes exist in light and in shadow. We dance between what we can handle and what we can't. We dance between comfort zones. So let's go to the second reading. The sun is kind enough to encourage growth in a seed, but strong enough to penetrate the earth or whatever obstacles in between the seed and the sun. The seed always looks for source. You need balance. The sun is on all and is light even in the night. So the moonlight is just a reflection of the sun. It's the sun's rays are out night and day. Oxygen fuels the fire. Don't love the fire without the oxygen. Dark sides are repetitive echoes, reflecting the sun, reflecting the good. The spirit said that the dark was repetitive. It was an echo, and I asked, why is the dark repetitive? And the spirit said darkness chisels you to become the big picture. So that repetitiveness is sort of like chiseling, if that makes sense. In order for you to see the big picture, you have to balance the chisel by looking at the big picture, not the hammer, not the hits, but what you will become. Keeping the bigger picture in mind is more important. The big picture is you'll become your own source, your own light. You are learning to be inspiring, to encourage growth, but strong enough to burn. South node is source, north node is big picture. Standing in the well of thought, oxygen is flow. The more that flows to you, the more you grow. Standing is acute, grand fever rises. We are stardust training to be stars and to become source. Test the waters, if not, we try that again. Doing your shadow work is important. Working with your light is important. And one is not more important than the other. They are both important because they are both helping you become the big picture. That chiseling, that repetitive work, that pay attention to me, pay attention to me, pay attention to me, pay attention to me, which is essentially what's going on with shadow work. It's constantly telling you over and over again, pay attention to me. We need to fix something. Fix it. That's all. That's basically it. And it's not as easy as saying just fix it. But it's there to make you into the person that you ultimately should be. You still need the light work. You still need that. That's what encourages you and gives you energy, and is obviously something good. But you also don't want to be a workaholic, right? So if you're constantly concentrating on your work, guess what's going to fall behind? Any shadow work you've got to do is going to fall behind. The main message here, the big picture, is keep yourself in balance. Keep the balance between the light and dark, between the work on your shadow work and work on the stuff you love. But don't do one over the other, because both are just as important. The reason you want to keep it balanced is because it's all the same. It's all part of the same structure. It's all part of you, right? This book is still a book. Whether it has shadow or light on it, it's still a book. And you might love the way the candlelight looks on it and not like the shadows, maybe. But it's still all part of the same book, and it's all part of you, and it's all stuff that needs to be worked on for the bigger picture. What did the spirit say so beautifully? It was said very eloquently. Where was it? The bigger picture is you become your own source, your own light. You are learning to be inspirational enough to encourage growth, but strong enough to burn and to chisel. So now, going back to the beginning, now that I've covered the entire topic, now the little poem makes so much sense because everything's covered. So I'm just gonna go back and read it. Starlight Mile, growing shadows shrink. Sunrise, love the night. Growth is incapable of standing in a shadow without the shadow growing too. Be the star you are, magic potions, tools at the table, sedating wine. A fool's journey is bound to extend beyond sunlight's reach. And in those crevices of the darkness, we find where life begins and shoulders bend and tears fall.